Well, we got the call on December 16 from a fellow in Austin who was on the inauguration parade committee, and he originally asked if our Buffalo soldiers would be interested in marching. And I responded that we certainly would be, but I pointed out to him that we had infantry and cavalry and wagons and Indians and civilians and all sorts of stuff, and he got all excited, and I said, well, would you like us to organize all that? And he said, well, you bet.
A little slower. They're going to take a slightly different route than what I had emailed out yesterday.
Well, first off, takes the invite. All right, here are what the event is we're going to do, and then the logistics set in. Okay, who's going? What are we going to bring? What are we going to represent? How are we going to portray this? Then it's what vehicles. You got to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, and sometimes the puzzle pieces don't fit. So that's when you get the hammer out and make them fit. Yeah.
Hang on now. First, to get my Buffalo soldiers there, make sure all the guys are uniformed, have everything they need, and then the second chore is to keep the mules, if we do have them with them. In this last parade, we did take the mules with us, and to make sure they got their harness and all their food, and try to keep them watered and their temperament down, because it's usually a good stressful drive just to ride up there, and then you got to get them calmed back down and ready for the event or whatever it's going to be. And then, I don't know, most of the time they just stand around and take a nap, but I'm the one that usually carries all the stress and, and everything, but it worked out fine.
Okay. Gonna put Andre.
Yeah, easy go. There you go. There you go. I guess the beginning, getting up to it, you're all, making sure everything's ready and everything's the event itself is a breeze. The event itself is a breeze because you've gotten everything together and you're all, tied down and uniformed up and everybody's polished, and the mules themselves, they're ready to go, because once they get hitched up and ready, they want to take off. And it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like herding a bunch of cats.
It was certainly a logistical challenge. Austin is not equipped, nor is it laid out to drive 50-foot trailers and animals and rigs, so we had quite a challenge in getting in there, but once we got rolling, we did just fine. We had 20 of our own people, 3 from Fort Griffin, a couple from Fort McCavitt. We had the cavalry from Fort Chadbourne that graciously joined us. So all in all, it was a pretty impressive group. Well, we're getting older, and certainly some of our volunteers have been around for 30 years or more. Several of the infantrymen, Michael Bittner and Dave Johnson, are at the 30-year stage. I'm at 33. Several of our cavalry guys are in the 20 to 25-year range, so we've got a very loyal cadre of troops. Well, certainly it's an honor. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Only 50 groups were invited. If you let anybody come on in, you could probably have 500 groups there. So certainly it was a selection, and it was an honor, and we appreciate that. Second, Austin is the big city, and when you're marching up Congress Avenue, it's not like our rodeo parade, although I will admit our rodeo parade draws more people. There's a certain impression as you're going up in between those tall buildings, and going by the review stand with the governor and the VIPs where it was quite a thrill.
It's one of those one-time things that you're glad you did it, even though it may have been a nightmare behind the scenes. You were there, you know what we went through, but it's a good experience to have done it. That way you don't, for the rest of your days, going, oh, I should have done this, I should have done this. It was really great. For myself personally, I had a moment, actually a personal moment, you know, eye contact, you know, with the governor. So it was really kind of cool. Well, what it was is that kind of just, he was looking through, watching the event, and watching us go by. We made a little eye contact. And I saluted him, he saluted me back, and it's like, it was really cool.
Being a Buffalo Soldier here at Fort Concho opens up the door to all these other opportunities. Because, you know, if I was still in the oil field like I was before, I'd have never had a chance to, you know, go and do something like this, or be able to learn how to handle mules, because I learned all that stuff by being here at the fort. So it just reiterates the great place we have here at Fort Concho.
It's just nice to be part of that, part of a little piece of the history. We're a small piece, but we're part of it, and that's something that I can put into my mental diary and keep with me till whenever.